Hello, everyone. Happy day wherever you are. Thank you for joining today's Jennifer Tarot Spiritual Guidance session. And the intention for today, for the reading, today being November 16th to November 17th, is to receive an insight and a message for general guidance to uplift you and empower you and give us all more clarity about the path forward, starting in this moment. So I prayed over the cards and shuffled them with love and with excitement for what is happening for all of us. And we have with us the following. We have the Ace of Wands reversed. We have the Nine of Cups upright. And we have the Devil. So what does it mean? Well, for me, the insight, the feeling is that we're going through a period, or you and I, all of you and I, so you listening to this, we're going through an experience where we know that there's a potential for a new beginning, for a new sense of self, for a new identity, for a new project or endeavor, and it requires some action. However, perhaps the energy is not all there just yet in a physical form. And there's a part of unreadiness from within yourself and unreadiness from the external factors that you perceive. However, all that matters is really your internal alignment and your mindset. So I invite you to consider, in what area do you feel that you want to make that new start, you want to start fresh, you want to start new, you want that new experience, or you want to make a shift. However, it's not yet fully clear. And that's all right, because it is what it is. And yet it's a new possibility. It's a potential. It's a seed. And so the seed of passion, of creativity, of discovery, of creation and physical energy and action. So that's what the Ace of Wands is highlighting for us today, is that there is this possibility, a powerful, positive possibility for you. And while it may not be just the exact perfect time right now, it is unfolding. It is there. You're not just making things up. It is a real possibility. So take it easy in that regard, right? Because then we have the Nine of Cups, which for me inspires a message of security and reassurance and self-sufficiency, self-confidence, of being in a secure space. Now, this can also be our comfort zone. So it's nice to be in a secure, comfortable space, and yet we know that it won't be enough forever, and you're going to want to go beyond the edges. However, I don't perceive a negative aspect in this card. Overall, it's really wonderful and positive because it shows a strength and kind of like a representation of your achievements till now and all that you've accomplished and how far you've come. And it's almost like a wish is fulfilled, in the sense that ask and you will receive. So I feel like also you're taking your time now before making a firm decision or commitment or plunging into anything new, because you really want to take your time. Your inner being, your subconscious, and you consciously, intentionally are knowing that, let me weigh the pros and cons, because I have a lot of good things right now. I'm in a good space, or some things are working. So why am I going to rock the boat unnecessarily in a drastic way, or what could be perceived as dramatic? But ultimately, if it's bound to happen, it will happen. And this is where our faith and trust in spirit, in whatever you feel is God, whatever that represents for you, in that higher power, this is where I feel that comes into place, because it's about reconnecting with that strength and wisdom of this profound eternal truth that is not human. It created human humaneness, I suppose, humanness. However, that is the deciding energy. So perhaps we can invite more faith and trust into our lives in God, in spirit, because ultimately we want to get it right. You want to do the right thing. You want to know that things are going to work out fine, and they are. No matter what, they will be fine. It's just a matter that right now we can't see everything ahead of us, and we're trying perhaps to micromanage and overplan, or to know what action to take, to know exactly how it's going to unfold. But perhaps that's not the way it's supposed to be right now. We may not need to know everything fully. And if we did, we would know, because everything is in God's hands. So this is where sort of a surrender comes into place. And perhaps we can, this is this figure of us, just sitting back, enjoying where you are, taking stock of how great things are already, and knowing that you've already you've done a great deal, you've come very far, you've got your representative cups here of solid emotions and fulfillment. And whatever comes next can only be the icing on the cake, so to speak, where we're not demanding it or asking for it forcefully, obligating life to give it to us, but rather just seeing what unfolds, sort of like this fellow here, seeing who comes to the table, who comes to ask for a cup of your resources, of your wealth and generosity and all of the divine qualities that you embody. And so to finalize, we have the devil. Now, it's quite interesting with our devil figure here, because at first it may arouse some fear and some uncertainty, confusion, which is indeed what the image of the devil has been typified to indicate, is fear. Also attachments. So perhaps Spirit is inviting us to just lovingly reflect on whether we are attached to the past too much, whether you might be clinging to someone who no longer is for your highest good or best interest. And that someone could be romantic, and it could also be a former company, a former employer, or a former way of life, a former way that your body felt, something from the past. And it could be an addiction. It could be just attachment. Really encapsulates a lot of a vast array of potential in the sense of what we can fixate on. And it can be maybe just overeating sweets, or impulsive eating, or over exercising on the other side of the spectrum. Or it can be sticking into an addictive, abusive relationship because it's your comfort zone, it's your security, and you don't want to rock the boat, but you do want to change, you do want to make that shift, or you do want to start a new project, but you're afraid of failure. You're afraid of how it's supposed to work out. And so there's dual messages. On the one hand, we might be in our comfort zone and feel like we're safe, and we don't want to mix things up too much because we don't want to be uncomfortable. And that could be the fear. That could be the attachment that's represented by the devil. On the other hand, it could be that the devil just indicates or highlights where we might be having fears, and that they could be there, and that might be what holds back anyone from taking action. And yet it's there for a reason, okay? Because if you knew 100% it was the right thing for you, you would have done it. So don't doubt yourself either, but rather be mindful of this moment of what you're going through, and connect with your God force. Because in this case, I feel the devil is quite friendly. I feel like it's helping us. It's not bad. It's actually a good thing to not jump forward. And it's good to have contrast. This is where that if it, you can only know the good if you've known the bad. So you can appreciate the goodness when you've known that it hasn't always been this wonderful. So bear that in mind and perhaps embrace that idea that whatever fear is shown here by the devil, it means that on the other side of that is the opposite. And it means that there is no fear. So it's possible because it exists by virtue of the fact that we can conceive of this notion of what is lacking or what is fearful or what is creating that attachment. Okay, so if there's any doubt within you about whether it's possible for you to have what you want and the happy ending and feeling good and just feeling happy, then it means that it is and that it's possible. And so you can have that. You can have that goodness, that joyfulness, by knowing that if you don't have it now, you can have it because its opposite exists. So this is where I feel like the devil is waving its hand in a sort of, if we make light of it, it doesn't have to be so like serious and negative, because it's not. These are just figures, and they just will evoke in you whatever meaning you give to it, regardless of what I say. So contemplate what this figure evokes for you. And if it doesn't mean anything, then that's marvelous, because when we are fully in that God space and that godliness, and we fully align with our source energy and with the goodness of the creator, whatever you believe in, and the love force of the universe, let's call it love force, then there is no devil, there is no evil, because everything is love, and only goodness is the dominant overriding energy, and that's all that we will see. So I see this card with love, and I see this reading with love, and it just means that there's something new happening, there's something new evolving and budding within you, and it's very exciting. And it doesn't have to be like galloping off on a horse right away, and that's normal, right? Like it is fine, and it's a possibility, and that is super exciting. So enjoy that, enjoy the possibility, enjoy the goodness, enjoy how good things are already, and go with your flow. You're working out just great. So that is our divine tarot guidance for today. So thank you to Spirit, and thank you for joining the Jennifer Tarot channel. And I will see you very soon. Have a blessed day. I love you. Goodbye.